over. This really was such a huge thing for me because everything felt different. My muscles were firing differently, my posture was different, and you can have this same experience. And I just wanted to show you, not only can you have that experience for women, but you can have that experience for men as well. So you can take a look at men's designs on QVC.com. If you're doing the men's design, we have smoke and we have navy, which is extremely limited. So if you're thinking about Father's Day, just get it before that one happens to disappear. And that's medium widths only. But in the women's, in this case, we have medium and we have wide widths to choose from in whole and half sizes, and we're going to go through the colors for you, beginning with the white. So we have the white that's tinged with that sort of light lime green color. Then we also have the fuchsia, and that has this fun shade of deeper purple.
How great is that fuchsia? How much fun is that color?
I love it because it's actually more of a raspberry. It's not like an electric pink. It's really pretty. Then we have the silver, and the silver also has this great sort of tipping in the purple. We have the turquoise that goes back to this sort of carnation pink color. And then here we have the black that's edged in the turquoise. And so I do need to let you know sizes 5 through 10, whole and half sizes, 11 and 12 in medium widths. In the wide widths, we have sizes 6 through 10, whole and half sizes, and size 11 if you do want to go for those wides.
That's right. So there's no need to size up or down on any of the sneakers. So the men's are whole and half size as well. I think it's 7 through to 13, I want to say, or 12.
They don't have it specific, but I think you're correct.
Yeah, and but the men's, I said, it is a medium. It is a medium fit. It is a fairly generous medium, though. I've got a pair of those. I've got a reasonably wide foot, and you know, they fit me fine. So. But what you've got here, Sharon, is, you know, I like to sort of say there's a lot of sneakers out there and they've all got fantastic midsole technologies, but really where all the action happens is right underneath the foot, and that's why it's so important to have that podiatrist design technology built right in there. So that's what we've got here with these styles here.
And we're going to show that with the orthotic, because we have the orthotics, actually the full-length ones, coming up later on in the show. And when you see how much they are for the shoes that are not Vionic, they're great. But think about the fact you're getting that value built into every single one of these shoes.
Exactly right. And this is what's going to be sitting right underneath your foot here, this podiatrist design technology that's going to help realign the foot and help keep your foot back into its natural alignment. And you can see there the contours. And I encourage you, have a look at some of the sneakers you might have at home. Take out the insole and just see if it's going to give you that type of support, that podiatrist design technology. And in fact, I've got here just a cutaway of a shoe. And you know, this is just a nice little run-of-the-mill sneaker. You can see some great midsole technology there with the EVA midsole. But look at what's sitting right underneath the foot. You've got something that's completely flat and going to offer no support whatsoever.
Right.
Just by contrast, there you go. That's what you're getting with Vionic, that fantastic podiatrist design technology.
Huge difference.
Yeah, with those contours there that are going to really help realign the foot and give you that comfort and give you that support, which is so important. And as Dr. Weil was saying, you know, walking as a form of exercise or a way to keep active is such an easy thing to do, because, you know, all you need is a good supportive pair of walking shoes and a front door to walk out of, basically.
That's right. There's nothing shocking your body. It's not out of this world. We're built to do that anyway.
And it can be very social. It's a very social sort of thing too, especially if you've got a group together.
At the mall or outside, like people, you're right, people do gather to do that.
Exactly right. But, you know, aside from that podiatrist design technology, you've got a really well constructed sneaker here with the, you know, the EVA midsole, so that's going to, you know, help provide that cushioning and support. A really firm heel counter, a nice firm heel counter as well, and that's very important to help keep your foot in place when you go through that walking motion.
Yeah, if the heel doesn't stay in place, then what good is it, right?
Exactly right. Mesh upper, so they've got the mesh and leather combination there on the upper, so that's going to help the foot to breathe. Really nice and lightweight. And one of my favourite technologies is this area here, which is what we call a first ray technology. What that means is we've actually put a softer density EVA just underneath where that big toe joint sits. That's just going to allow that big toe joint to drop down when you go through that walking motion. What that means is, biomechanically speaking, you're walking in a more efficient manner, but it's just a really great comfort technology, and you really notice a difference once you start to wear it.
Yeah, it feels really great. I have a different pair of walking shoes from this brand that's actually coming up later on in the show. And I highly recommend them to anybody that just needs a lace-up type of design. But I think we're going to go over to Stacey Ann, because we even with this type of shoe, able to see how this can change the way everything is aligned for you.
Absolutely. And yeah, we'll talk about the knee this time as well, because where the foot goes, the rest of the body's going to follow. And that's why it's so important to have that alignment really from the ground up. So with Stacey Ann, again, on the hard, flat, unnatural surface, you can see the lines that we've drawn on the leg are quite crooked, but you also notice that dot we've put on the knee. Now you can see there that dot on the knee is actually going off in one direction, and that line on the foot is actually going off in another. And the reason being is when that foot is in that unsupported, over-pronated position, that causes the lower leg to internally rotate, which then puts the knee out of its natural alignment.
Right.
Watch what happens to the dot on the knee, again, when I realign Stacey Ann's foot. Now you can see how that's moved and everything is nicely aligned. when I let it go again. I mean, this is almost painful to look at, isn't it? But you can really see that misalignment coming back, but now that knee's gone out of its natural alignment as well. But watch the difference as soon as we put Stacey Ann onto the podiatrist design technology, and look at that, everything is in beautiful alignment there.
Yeah, it really is such a change just by stepping into the shoe. And it not only changes your feet, but you can see it's like the blocks of a building. The feet change the ankles, change the knee, change the hips, change the back, change everything all the way up. And you know, I've often said, if your knees want to be social, if they're talking to each other, you need to separate those two. That is bad news when they end up looking in at each other. You want them to sort of like look in the opposite direction a little bit. So go take a look. I mean, I highly recommend. I'm actually saying it's okay if you to leave your TV for a second to go take a look at your feet and your ankles and your knees in the mirror. Sort of play around with that alignment and see, are you rolling in at the ankle? Are you over-pronating? If you're doing that, you definitely need to have some support. And even if you're not having that extra support on days where you're on your feet for a really long time, whether you're at the amusement park, you're running lots of errands, we all start to collapse, I think, at some point when our feet ache at the end of the day. So this is just really beneficial. For women's medium and wide widths, we've got the white, we have fuchsia, we have silver, the turquoise, and the black. And for gentlemen, at this point, we have the smoke and we have the navy. So we're extremely limited. We do have a couple other things for the blokes.
That's right, absolutely.
We do.
We've got a couple in the show, but there's a lot more on QVC.com as well.
That's right. And with Father's Day coming up, I do highly recommend it. I've sort of turned on to all the guys that are in my life to this brand, and I hope that you take a look at it. But I wanted to let you know, too, about the inserts. So let's say you have, I mean, once you experience the shoes, we still end up with shoes in our closet that do not have this technology in it. And if you're saying, well, I wish I could just keep that going, grab the orthotic that you see right here. And we'll talk about how the sizing works for both men and women when we get there. But slip this into your winter boots. Slip this into some other pair of shoes that you have to wear for work, perhaps, and get the same type of benefits.